So we have a bit of a breaking news update for you guys that is regarding the first Ashes test, and well, it's one that unfortunately, let's say, will not be very good news for both Australia and England because well, the ICC has announced that they have not only been docked 2 points from their World Test Championship tally, the players have also been handed a 40% fine of their match fees. The reason for this, well, it's pretty simple. Both teams were judged to have maintained a slow over rate in the first Ashes test that, of course, Australia had won in, pretty thrilling fashion, really. It was one really good test to watch. But the ICC have now deemed that both teams were actually well short of their over rates. In fact, Andy Pycroft, actually, who's the elite ICC elite match panel, said that both teams were ruled to be 2 overs short. That is, even after targets and times allowances were taken into consideration. Now, you remember that this was one of those test matches which unfortunately had a lot of stoppages. There were rain delays, so there were plenty of things to take into consideration. But even keeping all of those things in mind, they were deemed to be 2 overs short each. Now, we know how it is that these sanctions work. You generally get a 20% fine for every over that you are short. So if you're over 5 overs short, you'll end up losing 100% of your match fee. In this case, both teams were only 2 overs short, which means that 20 times 2, 40% is the sanction that they were hit with by the ICC. But not just that, they'll also end up losing 2 points each from their tallies of the World Test Championship cycle. So, Pat Cummins is Australia are now with 12 points after they were supposed to be getting 12 points rather after winning that first test. Well, they've only got 10 points now. England were also deducted 2 points, and that means, of course, they are now behind all of the teams that are competing in the World Test Championship cycle for 2023 and 2025. So, bit of a blow really for England in that regard, because it means their point tally is pretty much worse than even teams that haven't played a Test match yet. But they say the crimes, or rather, you should not be going over the over rates. And truth be told, I think this is a good measure if you're looking at the strictness of what it is. Let's say the severity of the crimes. Test cricket, cricket in general, is already a pretty time-consuming sport without teams actually wasting time or ensuring that the over rate targets are not met on time. And even keeping all considerations in mind, the both teams were still 2 overs over their let's say allocated time, and it only makes sense that both of them end up getting hit with not just a fine, because again, we've seen in the past that fines have been applied, but you need to be doing something that would hurt them in a sporting sense, and that's where the 2 point deductions from both teams' overall totals is actually a pretty clever thing, because again, fines don't generally hurt a lot of these boards, especially the richer ones, of which Australia and England definitely are too. But if you can hit them where it hurts in a sporting sense, I mean, see, England are now, they're behind everyone else when it comes to the point standings, and they were already by default, considering they lost a test match, but now it's even worse out for them. And Australia, who were in fact had won 12 points for winning this particular test match, well, they've been down 2 points. So that's the thing. That is the breaking news update for you guys. If you're just joining us, both England and Australia have been hit with not only a 40% fine of the players' match fees, but have also been docked 2 World Test Championship points for maintaining a slow over rate in the first Ashes Test match. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tap the bell, leave us a comment also. Let us know if you think it was a fair fine or not. Follow us across social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And don't forget, download the SportsTech app as well. Plus, stay tuned to Sports Today for more such breaking news updates for the day. For now, goodbye and good night.